The air in Carnac, Brittany, always seemed heavier than elsewhere, a weight that pressed gently on the shoulders of anyone who wandered its fields. To the casual visitor, Carnac was a charming French village, its whitewashed houses and salty sea breeze painting a picture of simple beauty. But beneath that surface, the land pulsed with secrets. For those who listened closely, Carnac was not just a place, it was a threshold to an age so distant, so mysterious, that it defied easy understanding. Ilara, an archaeologist whose life had been shaped by the pursuit of the unknown, stood on a low hill overlooking the endless rows of ancient stones. The Carnac Stones. Thousands of granite monoliths, some towering like silent guardians, others squat and stubborn, stretched across the fields in lines so precise they seemed almost unnatural. They stood in formation, as if frozen mid-march, their purpose lost to time. Ilara's first encounter with the stones had changed her. She remembered the awe she felt standing before these giants, realizing the sheer scale of what ancient hands had achieved. The stones had been quarried, transported, and raised without the benefit of modern machinist effort. So monumental, it humbled even the most skeptical mind. But it was not just the size of the stones that haunted her. It was the order, the mathematical precision, the sense that these people so often dismissed as primitive had known something we had forgotten. As the morning sun crept over the horizon, the stones cast long shadows across the undulating land. Ilara closed her eyes, trying to imagine the world as it had been. She pictured the builders, not just as laborers, but as visionaries, people driven by beliefs and rituals, by a sense of purpose that could unite an entire community in a project that would outlast them all. Were the stones a vast cemetery, a map of the heavens, or a temple to forgotten gods? Theories abounded, but none felt complete. Her gaze drifted to the Menic alignment, the most famous of Carnac's sites. Here, the stones stood in rows, tallest in the west, and gradually shrinking toward the east, like a wave receding from the shore. Legends clung to these stone stales of Roman soldiers turned to granite, of fairies dancing in the moonlight, of dragons shaping the land with their breath. But Ilara was after something real, something that would finally reveal the truth behind the stone's silent vigil. One crisp autumn day, a local farmer named Jean-Luc approached her. His family had worked the land around the stones for generations, and he carried the quiet confidence of someone who belonged to the earth. He spoke of a strange phenomenon, faint humming sound, heard only during certain phases of the moon, coming from deep within the largest burial mound, Saint Michel. For years, he had dismissed it as a trick of the wind or the imagination, but its persistence had begun to trouble him. Ilara, ever the skeptic, suspected a natural explanation. Perhaps the wind found its way through ancient cracks, or maybe the ground itself shifted in the night. Still, Jean-Luc's sincerity and her own curiosity compelled her to investigate. With her team, she brought ground-penetrating radar to the mound, mapping its hidden depths. What they discovered sent a chill through her. Beneath the layers of earth and stone, a vast hollow chamber appeared far larger than any known burial site in the region. And within that darkness, the radar detected a faint but unmistakable energy signature. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that bring history's greatest mysteries to life. The authorities hesitated, wary of disturbing such a precious site, but the pull of discovery was too strong. After months of negotiation, Ilara's team was granted permission for a careful, limited excavation. The work was painstaking. Each layer of soil was a page from a book written in the language of time. Dust floated in the shafts of sunlight that pierced the opening, illuminating fragments of pottery, flint tools, and animal bones. Then, deep within the chamber, they found something wholly unexpected. It was not gold or jewels, not a king's tomb, but a large sphere of obsidian, polished to a mirror-like sheen. It rested on a pedestal of rough stone, its surface so smooth it seemed almost unnatural. When Alara reached out, she felt a subtle vibration, a low, steady hum. As her fingers brushed the sphere, intricate geometric patterns began to glow softly, shifting and reforming in a mesmerizing dance of blue light. Her heart pounded. This was no ordinary artifact. The patterns, she realized, mirrored the alignments of the Carnac Stones themselves, but in 3 dimensions, moving and alive. It was a map, a message, a kind of ancient data display. As the team watched in awe, the sphere emitted a melodic tone that filled the chamber. The air seemed to thicken, charged with energy. Suddenly, the patterns leapt from the sphere, forming a holographic image in the center of the room. They saw Carnac as it had been thousands of years ago. The stones stood as they do today, but the land around them teemed with life. Figures moved among the megalith stall, slender people in simple, flowing garments, carrying tools that glowed with the same blue light as the sphere. They did not drag the stones with ropes and brute strength. Instead, they guided them through the air, using a technology that seemed like magic. The team watched, spellbound, as the ancient builders worked. Stones floated into place, shimmering with internal light. The scene was not one of struggle, but of mastery of civilization in harmony with forces lost to time. But then, the vision changed. The sky darkened, a red haze settling over the land. The people moved with urgency, their faces drawn with fear. The glowing tools flickered, the levitating stones sometimes crashing to the ground. The sphere's pulse grew erratic, echoing the chaos in the vision. Something was going terribly wrong. In the final moments, one of the figures, desperate and weary, reached out to a standing stone. As their hand touched the granite, the blue light flowed from their body into the stone, and the figure faded, becoming translucent, then vanishing altogether. It was as if their very essence had been absorbed by the stone. The vision ended abruptly, leaving the chamber in silence. The sphere's light dimmed, its patterns frozen. Ilara stood motionless, the implications settling over her like a second skin. The Carnac Stones were not just monuments, they were vessels. The ancient builders, facing disaster, had poured their knowledge, their memories, perhaps even their souls into the stones, hoping to preserve something of themselves for the future. The alignments, the precision, the energy, these were not just for show. They were part of a system, a network designed to hold and protect the legacy of a lost civilization. The hum that Jean-Luc had heard, the energy signature detected by Alara's instruments, these were the faint echoes of lives still present, still waiting to be understood. The true mystery of Carnac was not how the stones were raised, but why. The stones were not graves, but libraries, not observatories, but time capsules of consciousness. As Alara emerged from the chamber, the afternoon sun bathed the ancient stones in golden light. They no longer seemed like mere rocks, but silent witnesses, living archives, holding the story of a people who refused to be forgotten. Their sacrifice, their brilliance, and their final act of hope were written in stone, waiting for a future generation to listen. The journey to unlock the secrets of Carnac had only just begun. The world would never look at these stones the same way again. And as the whispers of the past mingled with the wind, one thing was certain. The true meaning of existence might just be hidden in the silent giants of Carnac, waiting for us to understand. If you found this story as captivating as we did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Join us next time as we uncover more mysteries that history left behind. Until then, keep your eyes open, because sometimes the past is closer than you think.